Hey, I'm Al McGee with your entertainment ticket at www.yeticket.com. Well, the film I'm going to talk about right now is called BlacKkKlansman. Hey, this is directed by Spike Lee. He's always been one of my favorite directors of all times. I had the pleasure to meet him, talk to him, and things like that. And I still feel that he has always tried to do his best to let America know what America is about and what America is. Well, he does it with this movie. This film is based on a memoir by Ron Stallworth. He wrote this book in 2014 and is based on his real life. In fact, he was a black Colorado Springs police officer who successfully infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan, a terrorist group. I wonder why they have not considered this a terrorist group. They've been around for, have they been around about 100 years or more? I'll say yeah. And they've been terrorizing African Americans, Jews, Mexicans, Hispanics throughout their history, and they're not a terrorist group? Why? Because many of our politicians have cousins in the group, and they say, oh, they're still good people because they visit them on Thanksgiving. Terrorist group in my mind. But anyway, this is the story about his memoir. And in this film stars John David Washington. He plays Ron Stallworth. That's right. He's the son of Denzel Washington. And you can see that he is his son. Man, it was amazing to see that. But anyway, Stallworth, he was the first black policeman with the Colorado Springs Police Department. In fact, his police chief, played by John Burke, asked him, if one of our police officers called you a nigger, what would you do? Of course, he had to think about it, had to give him the right answer. And the police chief wanted him to be the Jackie Robinson of the police department. Of course, what did they do to him? They put him in the records room. He was not out in the public. For a while, he was in the records department. He wasn't out or anything, not even as a traffic cop. They didn't really want nobody to see they had a black policeman. Until Kwame Ture was coming to Colorado Springs because the students there wanted him to speak, and they paid for him to come there to speak. They didn't want Ture to rile up their good Negroes there in Colorado Springs. Ture his former name was Stokely Carmichael. So that's who we're talking about. And also at that time, too, the reason they wanted Stallworth to infiltrate the student union to hear what he's going to say, remember the FBI at the time considered him one of the most dangerous men in America. Well, that's because Dr. King was dead. So they had to pin it on another black man in America to be the most dangerous man in America. Again, we're still talking about the Ku Klux Klan. Anyway, Chief Bridges, wanted him to do the stakeout. He did it and things like that. He met the president of the student body. Her name is Patrice Dumas, played by Harrier, and they develop a relationship. But at that time, Stallworth still was just sitting around the police station, and they had to read articles, in newspapers, what's going to affect their city. So he read this article from the Ku Klux Klan, to get in touch with them, things like that, and that's what he did. He called that number to the Ku Klux Klan. They called him back. He started talking to them, telling them he hated niggers and things like that. He hated Spics, Jews. And so he talked to the police chief, said, look, we got a good chance to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. Of course, police chief Bridges said, why we want to do that? Concentrate on the blacks and the student union. But he convinced them, let them do it. And then he got help from his white partner, Flip Zimmerman, played by the great Adam Driver. And, but Zimmerman is a Jew. But he was not brought up as a Jew. He didn't follow all the rituals that Jews do follow. And then here's the thing I always have a problem with is, when did a religion of a people become a race? You always hear people say the Jews this and the Jews that. When is that a race? Anyway, that's another topic. So they did, and they went in there, and Zimmerman did a great job convincing them that he wasn't a Jew, because one of the Ku Klux Klanmen, his name was Felix, played by Jasper Panicki. Well, he kind of felt he was a Jew, and he wanted to try to prove that he was a Jew, but, he could not do it throughout this film. But they squashed whatever they were going to do, because the Ku Klux Klan was going to try to kill some of the black students there at that campus in Colorado Springs. Also through this film, too, you see the film, The Birth of a Nation. It was one of the most effective pieces of propaganda of racism that's ever been played. Even the President Woodrow Wilson showed it in the White House and said this is a great piece of work of art. And you also got a chance to see the Ku Klux Klan show that in one of their meetings. And of course, we get to David Duke, which is played by Topher Grace. He was very convincing as David Duke. John Stallworth had many conversations with David Duke and convinced David Duke that he was a white man and a white Ku Klux Klansman. And then he finally got his card. I really enjoyed this film, especially I really enjoyed this scene with the actor Harry Belafonte talking about the 1916 lynching that happened in Waco, Texas, of Jesse Washington. When you see that scene, if that does not inspire you to do something or to feel, go eat some oatmeal, please. This is one of the best films of the year. Spike Lee ended the film with footage from the incidents in Charlottesville that cost the life of Heather Heyer, and also dedicated the film to her too. I tell you, if you don't go see this film, well, I don't know what you're thinking. What do you want? I'm giving this film 4 palm trees. It's one of the best films of the year for me, and it's about real people and real incidents. It's one of the best films this year, BlacKkKlansman. Hey, I'm Al McGee with Your Entertainment. Ticket at www.yeticket.com. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.
You are watching YETicket.com with Al McGee, movie reviews and interviews. This is YETicket.com, YETicket.com, your entertainment ticket.
We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right.